Still gotta figure out how to dispose of those. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. This is DJ, the Aspiring Gearhead. So today I get to have one of those fun little moments where I don't get to deal with something that I prepped for. It's something that suddenly came up that I have to figure out. I mean, I guess that's part of the whole learning thing, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. So what we're gonna deal with is the fact that my Elantra started overheating yesterday. You see that? That's after I turned the car off and went up to get my camera. On the drive back, it was all the way to the red line. This is the kind of thing that makes me nervous. Luckily, I've got my first clue. While I was parking my car here so I could open up the garage, I saw the leaking come from here. And then when I come all the way back up to the front end, I actually threw a broken down cardboard box here to see if I noticed anything. Right now I see a dot right there and a bigger dot right there. So yeah, there's some kind of leak coming from here. I'm gonna have to take a look. So it's a couple of days later, and now I'm gonna jack up the car and have a look under there. Man, it's kind of tough having to do this with a regular day job. I'm a little bit envious of those YouTubers who managed to get to the point where they can do this whole thing, we can do this full time. For me, it's like, yeah, I figured this out on Saturday. Sunday was a Father's Day dinner for my cousins and such. So you had to spend all day hanging with the family, which is great. And then now today's Monday. I figured I'd do this while I'm fresh out of jiu-jitsu before I shower anyway. Just like that, the car's jacked up again. I'm not gonna lie, right now this is probably my favorite part of working on my car, just jacking it up, because it's now that I actually know I can do it, it's pretty simple, and I'm getting to do it faster. It's nice and relaxing. Plus, I imagine in editing, it'd be a good spot for a time lapse with some lo-fi. And now that the car is up, I can take a look and see where the leak might have been coming from. Funnily enough, I don't know if that's a word. Anyway, the spots where it was dripping, those basically evaporated, so I can barely tell where it landed. I think I kind of see the little imprint of a ring right here. And the other one was a little more over here-ish. So I was like here, where the two were. So looking up, I can actually see a little bit of where I think it was dripping from right there. I'm trying to figure out, because obviously I don't think this part has any coolant in it. This is just I gotta learn the name of it again. But I'm trying to figure out whether the leaking came from the coolant reservoir, which is right above here, and or a radiator, which is up here, and then it just kind of got caught by whatever was between it and the ground. So gotta take a look. Also, I'm taking a look from the top as well, see if anything stands out, because right now I don't see any sign of where it might have dripped from, even with the light. The only thing I can see so far is pretty much I need a light to see where the levels are, and right now I think it's virtually nothing. So I bought some extra coolant in case I needed to just throw some in to see if I notice anything. So I guess I'll do that. Fill up the coolant reservoir, see what comes out. When the Elantra redlined on Saturday, it seemed like, redlining would mean there's like nothing there or very next to nothing, but truth be told, on the reservoir, I think I only had to fill maybe a third of it. At this point, I want to see if it'll leak on its own, but who knows, maybe I'll have to start the car up again, get things moving, see where it starts dropping. I'm hesitating to do that though. Also, before I start the car up again, I'm trying to see if I can get a look at if anything sticks out to my eyes. So I figure if it's coolant, it's either the reservoir or the radiator itself, but I don't see anything. Everything seems to be fine, but like I said, if my car is redlining, something is not fine. Actually, I do see one little wet droplet right there. Not sure what that's from. But so far nothing else sticks out, so yeah, I guess I'll start the car. Gotta open up the garage a little bit so I don't hotbox with deadly gases. Now we play the waiting game. I gotta see if it leaks or not. From a top view, no, nothing. Nothing out of the radiator either. On the bottom, still no leaks either. But I'm willing to bet money as soon as I try to take this thing out, it'll be leaking and halfway to redline before I even make it to the hole. It's confusing and more than a little irritating, considering how freaked out I was when the thing hit redline. But yeah, nothing is sticking out yet. So my options are wait until a little later so I can run this thing around the block and get it above redline again, and hope that I can get it back here before the leaking stops, or give it some time and wait. I don't know. The temp is pretty much where it's supposed to be, and it's holding steady. So it only seems to do this when I'm out. which, gotta admit, I'm not happy about, because I don't like the idea of having a problem in my car, and the only way I can figure out what the problem is by driving it out and not having it here. Because last time my car broke down, I pretty much was a solid 3 lights away from my apartment, and I had to figure that whole thing out, because I actually told the place that I had to leave it because I couldn't move, but then by the next morning he's like, yeah, we get it, but you gotta hurry up and get that car to here or it's gonna get towed, and I really don't feel like having to deal with any of that. So, I don't know, for now, it's not showing any sign of a problem, no leaks, no funny noises, etc., etc., so I'll probably do some initial research to see what it could potentially be, and then I'll, maybe tomorrow or so, I'll do just a lap or two around my block. That way I can know what to look for and hurry up and get back. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. You saw the red line, I saw the red line, you saw the stains, I saw the stains. So I know that there's something wrong, and I'm not about to take this car up the street to jiu-jitsu or even to get gas if I know it's gonna red line before I even make it halfway. So it's kind of irritating that here I am. I got an hour or so to take a look at what's happened, figure out what I need to go order online or head over to the pick at part 4, and nothing. So yeah, it's kind of irritating, but hey, that's how it goes, right? So for now, I'm going to step back, do some research to see what I should be looking for. So I've got Google, as well as my Hyundai Elantra repair book again. Gotta admit, this thing is interesting. And here they have a whole section on cooling, heating, and air conditioning. So let's see what I find. Since the car isn't leaking while it's stationary, I'm gonna have to take it, drive it up the block and back, get it overheated, get it leaking, and then I can figure out where it's coming from. So here we go with that. We have overheating. And we have massive drip. So it looks like it's coming out of the lid of the coolant reservoir. I see a bit of a coolant dripping right here from the frame, and then also the underside of this line. One other thing to note while I was taking a look, the coolant is way up here. This is nowhere near where I filled it to the last few times, so I guess obviously the engine getting hotter made it bubble up, but I'm thinking it's to the point where it's coming out of this thing and leaking. That would explain a little bit about how it's ended up over here. Like over here right under it, but then the section that's leaking from right under where the radiator is, that gives me some pause for thought. So I'm going to have to figure out exactly what's happening here. So is it just that this is coming out and spraying everywhere and somehow dripping down in 2 different spots? Or is there also something with the radiator that I got to check out? I'm really hoping it's one thing and not multiple, because yeah, it turns out one thing I constantly consider, but I'm never ready for with this whole channel, is that parts cost money. I figure one thing I should also note about that leak is that when I first pulled into the garage and I made sure I pulled it on top of the cardboard so I could see exactly where it leaked, it was way, it was coming out way faster, and then it slowed down by the time I actually managed to get my camera and take a look. So I'm wondering if it's a hole or something else. And more light. So yeah, time to get cracking on fixing this issue, because it turns out my Lexus also has a leak. It's not overheating or anything, but I consistently see a leak come out, I think it's a different color, so I don't think it's coolant. But I really need to get that in here so I can have a look under that, because right now the only other option would be to try to jack it up on our sloped driveway, and I am nowhere near dumb enough to do that. So let's take a look. Time to start switching out some parts. So I did my digging and saw what a few of the possible culprits for my overheating could be. Now, here's the thing. A while back, I bought this book called Auto Repair for Dummies. And the thing it said that always stuck with me, like years before I even started this channel, is if you have a problem with your car, start with the simplest and cheapest solution and work your way up. Now, I'm broke, so that's definitely what I'm going with. So first thing we're gonna replace is the radiator cap. I went and bought one from AutoZone, as close to OEM as I can get. That'd be this one. Here's the old one. So taking a quick look at both of them, I don't really see much wrong with them, aside from the fact that this little piece right here seems like it's broken off or something. But yeah, I'm going to start with the simplest thing first. So I'm going to replace radiator cap and see what happens from there. I never like when I put it on and all the words are upside down, so I gotta line it up so that the words face me. Like that. Good. Now, once again, it's probably not gonna do anything while the car is stationary, but I'm gonna go ahead and start the car, let it warm up a bit, and see if I notice any kind of difference, like sound, smell, anything like that. Well, nothing is up with the coolant yet, but while I was waiting, checking this out, it's kind of hard to see because it's really light drizzle right there, but, yeah, there it is. Yeah, for some reason that's happening. So that's kind of weird. I'll have to see what that's about. based on where the stain is, to say the leak came from somewhere around this area. Can't really tell exactly where the leak was coming from, but what I can tell, based on the smell in here, it's something having to do with moving the fuel around. So since I'm still pretty new to this, and also because my mom keeps bugging me about it, I'm gonna tap out here and get the car over to my mechanic so they can have a look at it. Personally, I wouldn't mind digging in a little more, but A, there's the fact that I'm dealing with flammable stuff. B, the fact that the Lexus is having a few problems of its own, and I figure I should try to deal with that so that I'm not stuck without any car because of this one having its issues and the Lexus having its issues. Also, the fact that I would rather not leave this thing as a 2,000-pound paperweight any longer than I have to for now. So I'm gonna hand it off to my mechanic once they fix it, and I'm gonna get as many details as I can about what they did so that I can wrap this up with my accumulated knowledge. And there goes the baby. Picked up the car from the mechanic. Looks like they managed to fix the problem. And here's what it was. So basically what they told me they did was they replaced the radiator because it had a crack in it. And that crack was caused by a problem with the thermostat right up in there. Apparently it malfunctioned, which messed with the ability to probably regulate the temperature, which caused the heat to build up in the radiator and crack. So that takes care of that. Not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed. I mean, it's great that my car got fixed and everything, and mechanics, as usual, they do great work. Problem is, those two parts are things that I would have been willing to replace myself if I'd known they were the problem. I mean, I actually looked up on YouTube a video of how to change out the thermostat after I found out that was the problem. I found a video that explained it to me in 2 minutes. I could have done it, damn it! But hey, that's how it goes, especially when considering there's that other leak, which I had no idea what was going on with it. I figured, I'll listen to my mom, better safe than sorry. Speaking of that leak, I haven't seen it recently since I picked it up from the mechanic, but they were able to find it on their own, and they mentioned that apparently there's some kind of crack in the valve cover, and I'll need to replace that. I'm gonna have to put that in a separate video though. For one thing, I gotta find one, and what the hell? Actually, those two don't look so bad. I'll have to check to see if they're good quality. So I'm gonna take an opportunity to grab the parts I need, find some more tools, and then I will get to that one. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'll catch you in the next one. This is DJ, the Aspiring Gearhead. Take care.